Hey everybody, Jesse here for 3Prong Gaming, and in today's episode we are going to hook up our buttons to be able to adjust the game speed. It's not going to mean too much to us right at this point, but we're not too far away from doing our construction and setting up the AI. I'd say we're probably a handful of episodes away before we start getting into the AI. And if we've got a little bit of time, we're going to go ahead and hook up rotation of our buildings so we can lay them at different angles. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this started here. Let's jump into our main UI here. First thing we need to do is go ahead and select the minus button. Let's change the name of this to slower speed. Alright, and then we need to let's go to the digit right here, to the text. And in the content text, what we need to do is we need to bind this to an event. Go ahead and create a new binding. And we will call this, we will call this, let's see, get display speed text. Sure. Make it a little verbose. Alright, go back into the designer. Hit the plus button here and change this one to faster speed. There we go. Compile it and save it. Now go ahead and for the faster speed, go ahead and on click down here in the events, hit the plus button. It's going to open that back up. Go into the designer, go to the minus, and do the same thing. On click, press that. Cool, just like that. We need a new variable. Let's go ahead and call this one speed. Make it of type integer. Integer, there it is. And we need to set its value here from 0, value range 0 to 5. All right. Compile it, and we're going to make its default value 3. Okay. Let's go into the get display. Where is it at? Get display speed text. Let's go ahead and pull this back a little bit. Take our speed variable, drop it in here and get it. And then we need to clamp this to, let's see, clamp integer 0 to 5. Probably don't need to do this because we're going to clamp it elsewhere, but it's always nice to have a little fail safe. And then just drag that in there and it'll give us to the to text converted node. And then that's it. Compile that and save it. And we can go ahead and close that one out. And then back here, and let's close these little panes out here because they're a pain in the neck. Okay. And then on the faster here, go ahead and grab our speed, drop it in here and get it. Pull it out and let's just do a plus. And just because they put it in here, let's do the increment. It's a standard macro that they included. It increments, let's open it up so you can see what it looks like. It just takes the value, adds 1 to it, and then returns it. So pretty much you could do the same thing yourself, but might as well do this because they put it in there. So anyways, we got this. Now we're going to clamp this again. And if we don't clamp this right here, I know we clamped it for the get display speed text, but that's just clamping the value that's going to be displayed on the screen. Like I said, you probably don't need that in the display speed text because we're setting it here, but that's all right. 0 to 5. But if you don't set this here, even though the number you'll see on the screen won't ever change past 5 or 0 or get any lower than 0, this value will continue to increase or decrease past the number. So we got to clamp those there. All right, and then we take our speed text here and we need to set it to the new value right there. Okay, so every time we click on the button, it's going to add 1 to it and keep it within these values and then reset the speed right there. Okay, let's go ahead and pretty much do the same thing again here, except for, let's see if we can. We couldn't get that one. Control W, bring those in. And let's go ahead and drag off of this one, hit minus, do the decrement. Yeah, that's called a Freudian slip. Okay. And then just plug those in like so. All right. So now what we need to do, we need to go back out here, compile it and save it. Let's go back out here to our enums. Let's go ahead and make a new enum, right click and blueprint enumeration. We will call this one game speed underscore enum. This is easy. You probably don't even really need to do this, but it's going to make it a little bit easier. We need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then just go ahead and, whoops, 0. We just need to number these from 0 to 5. All right, delete, 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 and delete. This is just going to save us. Save it. Go ahead and close that out. We'll never need that again unless we want to change the amount of numbers we have in our speed. But that's going to make it so we don't have to run a whole bunch of branches. So let's go ahead and create a new function. Yeah. Sorry about that. We need a new function here. Let's just go ahead and call this one set. Ooh, fingers on the home row might be nice. Set game speed. Okay. And we need an input of, go ahead and click that. We will call this one speed. And it actually needs to be of, oh, let's see. What do we call that? Game speed enum right there. Go ahead and select that, compile it. All right, so then from this, what we need to do is this is where it's going to save us the time. So just drag off of this, do switch on game speed enum. So now we don't have to run a bunch of branches. Whatever this number is going to be, we can just decide what to do from there. Otherwise, we'd have to do if speed equals 0, run a branch. If speed equals 1, run a branch. So this just makes it a whole lot easier. All right. So now we need to create another variable. And let's go ahead and I believe we need to make this a local variable. Yeah, let's go ahead and make this a local variable. Select plus. We'll call this multiplier. Make it a float. Close that because it drives me nuts, and of course it didn't close it. Okay, and the default value, let's go ahead and set this to 1. And then just drag this in, and actually let's rename this speed multiplier. All right, compile it, default 1, and then let's just drag it in as a set, and we're going to need a bunch of these. So 1, come on. Why isn't it working? Control C. The heck? Is my control button not working? There it goes. Holy cow. Oh, now I got a whole bunch of them. Look at that. Oh, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what we need. 6. And then just drag these up. All right. And then just plug all these in. Just like so. And then we're going to set the values here. So our default, our normal game speed will be 3. It's right in the middle, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0 is going to be like a virtual pause. So we're going to leave this speed multiplier, make it a whole number 0 right there. Let's see, so 3, remember what I told you? Well, this is just multiplier. I'll talk about that in a second. Speed multiplier of 1. Okay, so 3 is 1. So when we slow down, let's go ahead and do 1.25. And then a 1 will be 1.5. Now, I told you before when we set up the time, I'm going to set my game, at least initially, to be one full day will take 1 hour real time. Okay, so what this will do is 3 will be a 1 hour for an entire day. This will add a quarter hour to it, so it'll take 1 hour and 15 minutes to do an entire day, 1 hour and 30 minutes to do a whole day. And then to make it go faster, let's go ahead and do 0.5. And this will mean a whole day will only take a half hour. And this one, actually, this will normally be 0.25. Okay, so we'll just cut this down so it'll only take, in fast mode, it'll only take you 15 minutes to do a full day cycle. But we need to be able to test. All right, so because we don't want to sit there and wait even 15 minutes for a data trip, because we're going to be doing construction and things like that. So let's just make it go quick. So 0.0067. That means 1 hour is going to take like 1 second. That's like setting our time unit. If you remember in the past, or actually what it's set up right now, when we press play, it just zips through really fast. It's because we have our time unit set to 1. This is pretty much setting our time unit to 1. Okay, so when you go, don't forget to set that back to 0.25 or whatever you want your values to be. Just remember, speed multiplier for your normal speed needs to be 1, and then figure out your percentages from there. Okay, let's go. We need a new reference. We need a reference to the game state. So let's call this game state ref, and then do my game state reference. Change it into the reference folder, and we need to expose it on spawn and make it editable. Compile and save it. Let's go open up our camera pawn controller, and back here, where is it? In our create HUDs, and actually we got to go into our reference cast because we don't even have a reference to our game state in here, and we will need it for more than for just this in the future. So let's go ahead and add a new variable, call it game state ref, and just like we did in the UI, my game state reference. And then so right click in here, do game, come on, where's my computer? Game, come on. Game state, where is it? Get game state. Go ahead and select that, drag off of here and cast it to my game state. Plug it in. And actually we probably shouldn't have plugged in that last one. Game state, I could have swore I set that. References. Drag it in here and we'll set it. Okay, so now we got a reference to it. So now let's go back into our event graph at begin play. And where we create the HUDs, we got this exposed. So just go ahead and drag the game state reference into there. Compile it and save it. We'll leave that open for now. Come back into here. So now grab our game state reference. Get it. And then we need our local speed multiplier. Get it. All right. And then we need to create a new HUD. We need to be able to talk to our game state easily. And so let's go ahead and create a new interface for that. We've got the interface HUD here. So let's just create a new function for the interface HUD. And we will call this one update. Where is it? F2. Update game state speed. Again, a little verbose, but that's all right. Verbose is not always a bad thing. New input, call it multiplier. Make it of type float. All right, compile and save it. And that should be it for that. So go ahead and close that out. We don't need to make an exit for that or an output for that. Go back into our HUD here. All right, drag off of, we're already part of iHUD. We already got the reference. Make sure you have the reference to it. and then drag off this and do update game state speed. We need to select context sensitive so we can find the message call. All right, and then plug the multiplier into that, and then right click. I just want to turn context sensitive back on, and then just start plugging all these in. So to make it a little easier, I'm going to add a reroute node right there, and then I'm just going to plug all these in to the reroute node, just like so. Pretty easy stuff. All right, compile and save it. Where are we at? We're at about 16 minutes right at this point. So now we need to go into our game state. Now we need to actually change the speed here. We could actually test it right now and you'd see the value on the screen change, but we're not going to do that. Let's go into our game state really quick, and we need to handle that event. So go ahead and add, let's see, update. Make sure, I'm pretty sure we already are. Let's do class settings. Yes, we already implement iHUD. So go ahead and right click and do update game state speed. We need the add event call. Okay, and there it is. So now what we need to do is we need to create a new variable here. Let's call this default game speed. Make it a float. Let's go ahead and make this a private variable as well, meaning nobody else can get it, use it, set it, only in here, which is perfect. We don't want anything to adjust these values. Okay, so, and its default value will be, like I said, 150 for me will be 1 hour for a full day cycle. All right, so that's our default game speed. So go ahead and take this and drag it in here. Get it. Now we need to multiply float times float by the multiplier. Okay. And then we set our time unit right here. Go ahead and drag this in. Our new time unit will be this value right here. Perfect. Now, thinking ahead, being an RTS, a real-time strategy, time is going to be very important. Many things are going to end up needing to know this. So one of the best ways to end up handling this is to create an event dispatcher. So let's go ahead and do that now. And let's go ahead and call this one update game speed. Okay. So go ahead and drag that in. We'll do a call. And for the update game speed, let's go ahead and add a new input. We'll just make the input, we'll call it time unit. Hit enter, make it type float. All right, compile and save it. Go ahead and close that out back in the event graph. Go ahead and just plug this in. And we're not going to do anything with this now, but just thinking ahead, we know obviously that this is going to have to be passed along at some point. So we'll just do that, and then in the future we've got it. We can just call or bind to it, and it's already done there. All right, one thing I want to do too while we're in here real fast is right now in our clock and calendar, we've just got it calling the main HUD reference. We're going to end up needing to grab that anyways. Where are we? Go back into the event graph. So let's just, at the begin play, let's go ahead and grab our controller reference, get it, get HUD, main, where is it? Main HUD reference. And then let's just promote this to a variable. We'll call this main UI ref. Okay. And then just plug that in. So now we have it. So let's go ahead and I'll clean that up later. Go into your clock, and this is just a little housekeeping, right? Little housekeeping, not a big deal. And then into your calendar and do the same thing in here. Plug it in and good to go. All right. Now back to finish our time. We'll comment that out later. So that is actually it, right? Yeah, that is it. That will set up the time. I got a little bit more housekeeping I want to do. Let's go ahead and make sure that it is working, right? Right now it is not working. Oh, I think I know why. Is because our time unit, let's go back into game state here. Time unit is still defaulted to 0.5. Let's put it at 150. Right, so compile it. Let's come back here, make sure that this is all set up. I'm pretty sure that's all we've got. No. We need to come out here. That's right, because we're not handling the buttons yet. All right, go ahead and pull off this speed. And we need to convert it to a byte. Because remember, we're working with the enum here. And we can do the same thing with this one. We'll do that in a second. And then go ahead and we need to call the set game speed. Right? Oh, I hate it when I do that. Set game speed. Let's go ahead and make this a pure function. No, I don't want that as a pure function. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm thinking. All right. Go ahead and grab our set game speed. It's been a long weekend. And plug this in, and it'll give us the automatic convert node right there. That's the best way to do it. You can run off a pull convert, but then this convert's not going to be the game speed enum. So just plug it in there. It's going to know exactly what it needs. So we can go ahead and just Control W that. Plug that in and plug that in. All right, there we go. Now we're handling the buttons. Compile, save it, play it. All right. There, slowly trickling up. That'll be, now it's going a little bit faster. And then, of course, we hit our 5. We hit our fast speed. Minus, it goes back down. Slower, slower, slower. All right, yeah, so perfect. That works. And then we hit 0, and it's like a virtual pause. Now, this is important. We'll have to handle this a little bit down the road when we start doing AI. But that virtually pauses the world, because if we actually pause the game, it disables all the tick. So you won't be able to do things like, use your building right here, because to be able to follow this relies on game tick. So real fast. All right, real fast. Yeah, hopefully it's real fast. I'm at, 23 minutes right now, just over 23 minutes. I wanted to add I wanted to fix this too, but oh well, I won't worry about that right now. I want to add a rotation. So let's go ahead and, just because it doesn't really fit anywhere else, I figured this video is going to be a little bit quicker than where I'm at right now. And it's not, but let's go ahead and do it here, because like I said, it just doesn't really belong with any other videos, and I've got a free moment here. So let's do some input. All right, we need action mapping. We need a new one. Let's go ahead and call this rotate building right, and we'll make its button. Actually, don't type the period, you have to spell period. Okay, and the reason why I chose this is because it's like the greater than sign. It's the same key, so it just makes you kind of think that that's the way it's pointing, is off to the right. Okay, so we need another one here. And just like the last one, rotate building left. Okay, and this one, this will be comma. Go ahead and close out your project settings. Let's go ahead and jump into the camera pawn controller. And we need to go into the event graph here, and somewhere right around in here, let's go ahead and expand this out a little bit. Go ahead and right click, and we need to add the rotate building. Let's start with the right. Okay, need our ghost reference. Go ahead and pull this in, get it, and just check. Let's go ahead and get is just is valid. If I could spell, is valid, the function. Grab a branch, put it in here, and not only do we need to check to make sure our ghost building reference is valid, but we also need to make sure that we are in build mode. Okay, so go ahead and do an and boolean plug that into there, and then into there. Now, if both those conditions are true, what we need to do is we need to set the actor rotation. So go ahead and drag that out. Dang it. Come on. Drag this down. Go ahead and pull this. Let's get actor rotation. All right, because that's what we're doing. We're affecting the rotation here. And then just go ahead and break the rotator, because all we're going to need to do is we're going to need to rotate on the Z-axis. And just real quick, make rotator right there. And then just plug in the X and the Y. Now what we need to do for this, go ahead and create a new variable. This will just make it so it's a little easier to change. Let's call this building rotation rate. Now you can set this value to whatever you want. I'm going to set, this is in degrees here. So I'm going to set mine initially right now, default. I'm going to set mine to 15. Whatever you do here, make sure it's a multiple. It goes into 360 degrees evenly. Otherwise, when you start rotating your buildings, it won't line back up. You know, it won't come around full circle. So 15 is fine. You could do 30, 45, or even 90. It just depends on how much flexibility you want to give them when they're rotating their building. Okay, so go ahead and grab this and bring it in here. We got the get it. We need to take off the Z, and we need to subtract. So minus float from the rate, and then just plug that into the Z there. All right, so drag off of this ghost building again and do set actor rotation. There it is. Plug in our new value we just made right there. Plug this into the true, and I'll come back and clean this up in a little bit. We're running 27 minutes. I want to get this done. So that's it. That'll rotate to the right now. Okay. So now we can go ahead and just drag almost everything here. Drag that, deselect. What am I doing? Select all those top ones. We don't need the minus or that. Control, we don't want that. All right, now Control W. There we go. Right click and do rotate building left. My computer's lagging a little bit. All right, plug that in right there. Now off of this, we just need to add float and then grab our speed or our building rotation rate again, plug that in there, and then do that. Now, the only problem with this, let's go ahead and test this out, and I'll show you what the problem is. So we come in here, we got it, and we can rotate our building, okay, left and right. Now, notice how it's set right there, right? We got that set. Come in here, notice how it's still set at that angle. We don't want that, right? And then, of course, this one's a round one. You can't see this spinning. We're going to handle some other things so you can see where the front of the building is. But that's unwanted. So real quick, let's go into our ghost building. Where is buildings? Ghost buildings. Come into the event graph. Man, I need to start closing out that stuff. And then our close out all these tabs. In our kill ghost, what we need to do is we need to set actor rotation. Right, so every time we kill, which means every time we click the button, remember we killed before we spawn, every time we click one of those buttons, it will set 0, 0, 0. We just want to leave that just like that. So compile, save, play, do our apartment again, we rotate, we got it set right there, and we're back to normal, right? Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So that's it. 30 minutes into this, got both that in. I was expecting it to actually be a little bit shorter, but it's not a big deal. We got it in, got it good. So in the next, we're really close. I think the next episode, I think we're going to start working on our construction times. We're going to start making this take some time and account for this variable right here. Everything's going to be based off of this. All right. So even our AI movement, it's all going to be based off of that time. So that's perfect. We've got this set up. I think we're going to start our construction. Now, just so you know, I did do a little bit of, I don't know, I went to go optimize some of my AI stuff in my main project. and I decided it was time to optimize. So my construction process, hopefully I can get that done this week before I got to record episode. I think this is what, 15 before I got to do 16. Hopefully I have that done because it's getting close. We're going to do our real construction. We got to add our AI, and yeah, that's all coming up. I'm figuring probably in the next 4 or 5 episodes we're going to start hitting on that AI. So I've got quite a bit of work to do. I've got it working right now, but I need to optimize it because it's not very efficient. All right, 31 minutes. I'm done talking. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a favor. Go down and hit that like button. It helps me out a ton. If you're new to the channel, while you're down there liking it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and check out one of those other videos that are playing on the screen right there. And until next time, peace.